Hello, Legal Shield Associates. This is Timur Halligan from Chicago, Illinois, and my background is that of a professional tennis player and a business owner. And what I'd like to speak to you a little bit about today is a day of decision. We all made a decision when we signed the paperwork to become a Legal Shield Associate. But we want to talk today about the decision to be committed and be successful in Legal Shield. And I just want to share my story real quick with Legal Shield. I joined the business in July of 2004. Very, very passionate about the membership. I used it within the first week and realized that we just have an incredible opportunity to get the word out to folks. But when I made that decision to become a Legal Shield Associate, I didn't make a decision to become committed to the system that we have in place. And that's what I want to share with you today, because even though from the first day I started this business, I've been in Performance Club, I never truly achieved the success until 2011 when I made the decision to become successful simply by saying, you know what, I'm going to be part of the system. And real quickly, as I again go back and I take a look at, each and every month that I've been part of this business, from day one, I've really went out and shared the membership with folks. I was very good at personal production, but I wasn't very good at showing up. I was good at building a team, but I wasn't good at keeping a team. Why? Because my decisions were based around what was more convenient when there was an event going on. For example, if there was a briefing on a Monday evening, I always found every other thing that would be more fun to do than going to attend a briefing, because I came from a background as a business owner and I really didn't just let myself loose to the system. But yet my goals were always to be ultimately to be very, very successful in Legal Shield, to reach executive director and beyond, but my activity was not congruent with what I wanted to get done. And so what I would do is I'd go through and I'd go out and I'd market some memberships, I'd bring on some associates. I wouldn't show up to anything, so they wouldn't show up to anything. And really, as I look back, I did a disservice to those that I brought into this business because I myself did not commit to the system. And so what I'm here to say to new associates today is, don't wait 8 years before you make the decision to follow a system that's been in place for over 40 years that has produced hundreds of millionaires, hundreds of individuals making six figures from home, thousands of individuals making $50,000 a year or more working part-time. And what I wanted to really stress is, when I was working this business 8 to 10 hours a week, that would be a part-time career. But what I was also doing is showing up part-time for my part-time career. And in September of 2011, following our national convention, I made a decision. And from that decision, I made a commitment, because you're going to make commitments throughout your Legal Shield career. And I'd made those commitments to myself, even during those times when I wasn't building a team and showing up myself. But the commitment that I made in 2011 is that I'm going to trust the system. And so I went home and I sat down and I spoke to my wife and I said, listen, this is the way that we need to approach this business. We must make sure that we're doing 3 things each and every week and we just don't miss them. Number 1 is making sure that we're on our team call each and every week, but not only us being on our team call, but encouraging those that are on our team. And believe me, I had to go back and I had to look at folks that have been part of this business, and I had to call them and tell them that I'm really recommitting to them for their success. And so what that meant was, number 1, make sure you're on your team call each and every week. Probably one of the most important activities that you can have in your Legal Shield business. Number 2 is committing to be at the weekly briefing each and every week, because the briefing is the foundation to the growth of your business. And if you want your business to grow, you need to be at the briefing, not so much just for yourself and your guests, but to show your team the commitment to them and their success. The next thing is that making sure that if you've got a weekly training that's live in your marketplace, that you're at that each and every week. Again, it's not just about you, it's about your team, and it's about you committing to be a leader and serving them by showing up consistently. Then what you want to make sure that you're doing is taking a look at all of the regional events that you've got. And so what you have to take a look at is that one Saturday a month that I just have to say to my family that I'm going to be away for that Saturday because it's important for the future of what we want to get accomplished in our Legal Shield business. So once a month, you have to commit to being at that Super Saturday. And then you've got your national events. And your national events are when you get to bring together all the finest leaders. And you really got to sit down and ask yourself, before any big event happens, what do I have to do to make sure that I'm at that event? What would it take for me to be at that event? And for new associates, really what I'm trying to do is help you to avoid the pitfalls, which were easy pitfalls to avoid in my business, simply by making a decision to show up. In this business, success begins with showing up. And we've really just got a few simple activities that we've got to make sure that we do on a weekly basis. Number one, don't miss your team call. Don't miss your team call because you owe it to your team and you owe it to your family. Don't miss your weekly briefing. It's an hour of your time that can multiply and give you so many more extra hours of time to do the things that you want to do later in life. Make sure you're at your weekly training. You're at your weekly training to enhance your skills, but ultimately to make sure that your associates are getting the training necessary to be successful in this business. Commit one Saturday a month, just a few hours every month towards your Super Saturday events. And make sure that you're at the national events, because as I look back upon my career with Legal Shield, and this is going to be a lifelong commitment from myself to my team to my family, a few simple decisions that I did not make, put me in a position where I wasn't able to achieve the success that I know you can achieve immediately by plugging into the system. But the great thing about our business, because there's going to be some associates on this that are going to hear this and see this, that maybe you've been in the business for a few years and you're really not experiencing the success that you want to experience. And what I can tell you is, make a decision today and a commitment to yourself and to your family and to your team that if I simply show up and I do the right activity and I make sure I embrace personal development, that you can achieve all that you want to achieve with Legal Shield.